Well, isn't it a lovely day today? A little bit overcast. There's a light shining above. That's the light above in someone's room in a distant location. Might need a bit of a touch of the shades. Take out the old RBs, the old Ray-Bans, Terminator model. Or was it the Raptor model or the Predator model? Whatever it was, doesn't matter. Well. Henry Van 007. License to kill. Oh no, kill a beer, really. That's about it. Got my black bag. Papa's got a brand new bag. This is highly significant. 639. Should be a six. Well, doesn't have to be a 369, but 369. Power numbers of the universe, all that sort of stuff. Triangle. So you got triangle, three angles, 60 degrees. Who we got there? TKS 63K, unclear or something like that, whatever, doesn't matter. Probably some loser. Well. 3 holes in the ground, that's where I'd like to put them. But of course, highly illegal, so I don't recommend it. That's up to, like groups, shadowy dark groups, who run around in dark black vans, jump out looking sinister, looking like they've been dressed by David Fletcher or Roger David Fletcher, whoever they are. They may work for a certain security agency overseas, but I'm not too sure. I'd ring them up, but I'm not game and I don't have their number. I've got a phone, of course, but I don't have their number. I probably never will. I don't know what the number is. It might be 7, it might be 6, it might be a 32, it might be a 410, it might be a 089-A. But that's the office down in the basement where no one goes, because that's where all the files are. And no one's allowed to look at the files because only they are. But all jokes aside, I must get a coffee. Back soon. Now you might be wondering why I'm standing in a car park here this morning, David, but there's been a significant road incident on, actually I don't know where I am, but it really doesn't matter. I'm near a certain store, department store that starts with a K. Yeah, that could be for Cretin, who knows, but I don't think it is. Got welcome. I don't know why it'd be welcome. It's a sort of like a channel, a funnel, a runnel. It says welcome above, but you'd be sort of like driving in there and going, am I really welcome there? And it doesn't look that inviting. There are no tables, no chairs, no waiters. There's fuck all there, in fact. But you wouldn't really feel welcome at all. In fact, it looks a bit sinister. There are sort of like fences and big buildings around. There's nothing really appealing to that entrance. So why would they put welcome up above it? Like you've got to drive through, and it doesn't really look like it goes nowhere. It's basically a road to nowhere. I'm just wondering about that dopey slag mole that was down at the car park yesterday down in Tallangatta. She drives in, she's looking like she's just been beaten with an axe. She's not happy at all. And she's pouting, she's sneering, she's snarling. She's got like flames coming out of her mouth. And I'm thinking, dragon bitch, what's the matter with you? She's on the phone. He's on something. Oh, he's smoking methamphetamine. Blah, 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 which I don't smoke. Well, actually, no, I don't smoke it. No, I don't. I've drank many a cup of it, but that wasn't by choice. It seems that when I arrived home, when I was living in Donald, which is up in the northwest of the state, it's in the Wimmera Mallee in Victoria, Australia, or Gondwana land. Big hello to the brothers and sisters up in Arnhem. how you going this morning? They're not replying because they're still laughing about my spiel this morning. You know, that spiel, that's an overcoat that you wear in the winter in Finland. You know, so anyway, I was talking to some trees the other day, getting some wood into the situation, you know, leaving in a hurry. And I said to one of them, how are you today, brother? And he said, I'm a bit dry. I said, you should go down to the Frankston car park at the back, and there's an IGA there. You go around the back, you get yourself a couple of cans of caramel cyanide, down those, you'll be right as rain. You know, well, you probably won't be right as rain, you'll be probably dead in an instant, but you know, well, everyone's got to die at some stage, don't they? You can't hang around forever. So I was talking to Jason the other day, you know that action figure, you know, he's in Hollywood, he's always getting chased by those fucking black vans. You know, he races through the bush, you know, his eyes are everywhere, but anywhere on the road. No, he doesn't look at a road. I don't know how he does it. He's going through trees that are basically, you know, about this far apart. They're about this fucking wide, and he's tearing through at light speed. I think he's doing about Mach 9 or something, or you know whatever they say in Star Trek. You know, hit the button, Spock. You know, warp speed 7. Take it up to 7, Scotty. Give it all you've got. You can't do it anymore, Captain. Have you been drinking this morning, Scotty? Just a wee drop. So I was at the back of the Frankston car park. You know, it's a big meth site down there. There's a lot of meth heads. A lot of meth goes down there at night time. You know, but on the point before of drinking methamphetamine, the highly illegal illicit drug that's outlawed everywhere in the world and the people who make it should be put in the ground permanently. Not given a rest there, not just buried underground for a while just to recuperate, because they do recuperate after being buried in the ground for a while. They're very talkative, they're very open, and they're eager to please as far as, you know, proceeding with illuminating certain authorities about the activities of criminal underworld elements that are raging across the planet and across the state of Victoria at this point in time. So I was down the Frankston car park and I thought, you know, I'll get me a 6-pack. So I'm wandering, I'm going down, you know, like the cosmetics lane, and, you know, the ladies' eye, you know, where all the ladies, you know, like the mascara and all that sort of shit. And I see these, you know, these soft clear packets, you know, the ones that hang up in the hospital and they stick a tube in you and it goes up your arm. And I think, you know, can't you get a fucking glass? Why do you have to go to so much trouble to put it up your arm? Haven't you ever heard of a fucking mouth and having a drink out of a glass, you fucking cretins? Who the fuck is running these hospitals? Oh yeah, well, he's dehydrated, which means they're thirsty. Oh no, well, hang it from this fucking stand. The stand must cost about $30,000. You know, the tube is $50. And the needles cost $180. They shove it up your arm. Oh, he's hydrated now. He's getting some water. I'm thinking, how fucking, where do you idiots come from? Are you from space? Are you aliens? You know, this is how they drink. This is the information we have. So we're good to go. So they're going to hydrate you with this stupid fucking rectangle pack hanging from a stand. Does it have to hang on a stand? Can't there be a waiter standing there with the fucking gel pack saying, would you like a drink, sir? You know, how's that for an idea? You know, St. Vincent's Hospital, just for something different, just for a change, just for something novel. So I'm wandering down, you know, like I'm in the IGA, which is idiots growing. What was it? Oh, that's right, idiots going apeshit. It's not much of a company name. It's a bad acronym, and your profit and loss, your balance sheet is probably going to plummet to the ground. Your stocks are going to go to zero. So you better work on that, boys. I might ring up head office and just have a word to them. You know, idiots going apeshit doesn't look good on the TV, the black rectangle. You know, and people sort of wonder, idiots going apeshit, should I go in there and buy my food from people like that? You know, you've really got to think about your consumer choices and your dietary options when you're shopping. So So I'm going down the aisle, and I see these plastic gel packs, you know, like the ones that hang up in the hospital, and those fucking idiots say you need a drink. And I say, well, where's the nearest pub? Boom, boom. You know, and you know, they're shoving up your arm. But there are these gel packs on special, 6-packs, all that sort of stuff. You know, you get a box set. You know, it's not a set; it's just a box of gel packs, and it's fucking anthrax gel. And I'm thinking, well, that is different. You don't see that every day, do you? And you don't. Let me tell you that much. So I'm looking at these gel packs. You know, it's called anthrax gel. That's the deadly disease. I'm sure you've heard of it before. You might have caught it, you might not. I heard some people in Portland were very fond of it. In fact, they went home and lay down and died. They were so significantly affected by it or influenced by it. It's not a good lifestyle option. It doesn't last for too long, and really, you know, after about 3 or 4 weeks, your room does tend to get a bit on the nose, and your flatmates do complain. Not that they do much, because they're sitting around the table smoking meth, and they say, I wonder where Scotty is. You know, have you seen him lately? No, he might be down the dole office with that stupid mole dressed in the tight leather, black leather pants and the tight leather top, you know, going screaming ape shit, going, where's me fucking meth? Can't you give me an advance fucking check? I'm out of fucking meth. You know, the 3 dudes from, you know, Jor-El, Kal-El, you know, that fucking Superman dude. You know, when the planet exploded and those 3 heavies, you know, they're all walking around, you know, we're going to take over the Earth's inhabitants will be obliterated. We will rule this planet with an iron fist. You know, that fuckhead with the you know, the ice grey hair, the grey hair, he's the older bloke. He's got the heavy who went to, well, he never went to school. I don't think he can spell. He can't add up. And when he applies for the dole, he's always knocked out. So he's always poor, bankrupt, and he hasn't got a fucking clue, that's for certain. But the bitch with him, she's on the meth big time. Fucking, she's hitting it hard. You know, she's screaming ape shit. She works for IGA, by the way. And she hangs out down at the Frankston car park at the back a lot. I've seen her there often. She's often got a 6-pack of caramel cyanide, and she knocks that back like there's no tomorrow. It doesn't worry her, it doesn't bother her. And then she's screaming that. Then she is really fucked off her head. She's down the DSS, the Department of Social Security. She's hassling the poor woman at the front desk, and she's screaming at him. She thinks she looks good, but she doesn't. That's for certain. And she's dressed in these black leather tight trousers. She's got a black leather tight top on. She's got a face like a rhino that's just been belted in the head by a 30-30 bullet, you know, fired from point blank range by some idiot who thinks it's good to go out and hunt rhinos and put them up on his wall. How they get a rhino up on their wall is beyond me. What do they move a crane in and just hoist it? Yeah, just nail it to the wall, Scotty, it'll look good. After a while it stinks, and it does, and it's, you know, you bump into it, bits of flesh, you know, rub off on your clothes, and it's not a good look. They think it's good. They've got a moose and elk. They got most of the animals on the planet hanging on the wall. Why they want them hanging on their wall is beyond me. Don't they know that they belong out in the desert, in the tundra, eating grass and, you know, berries and shrubs and knocking down trees like elephants do, just to get through? They should actually get a few elephants around in the bush around here to make a few roads better. What do you reckon about that, Vic Roads? Get a few elephants in there and just bulldoze a few tracks through the bush. So I'm at the back of the IGA Frankston supermarket car park, and the bitch is drinking, you know, fucking caramel cyanides, you know, 6-pack of caramel cyanides. She's woofing them back, she's screaming, I haven't got any fucking meth, you know, I'm fucking going ape shit. That's ice, by the way, the illegal drug. She's going ape shit. I'm going down to the DSS, and mates are going, don't go down to the fucking DSS, Denise, not again. You know, you look like shit. You look like you're fucking been drinking. What are you on today? Rocket fuel? You know, what is it? Propane? Are you snorting propane again? Or is it butane? You're knocking back a few canisters of butane this morning, Denise? What's going on? You've got a hard habit problem, that's for certain, darling. You want to get some help. Not that anyone's going to help you because you're such a bitch. you and your two mates from fucking Superman's home world that got blown up and you were sent to the Phantom Zone. That's what I like to call the Frankston car park at the back of the IGA, the Phantom Zone. And fuck, they are phantoms. Geez, they disappear in a flash when the cops turn up. You know, the cops get a call, oh, there's some lunatics down at the back in the supermarket, they're selling meth, you know, they're revving their cars, they're going apeshit, you know, and the cops turn up and it's crickets. There's no one there at all. I mean, fuck all. They are like phantoms. They disappear in a flash. And I think, how do you organise this? You people are so fucking brain dead that you can't add up 2 plus 2. In fact, when you add up 2 plus 2, you think it's hieroglyphics from the Egyptian dynasty around about 2300 BC. That's how fucking cretinous you lot are. That's what meth has done to your brains. You tell them that and they go, blow it at your fucking ass. And they go apeshit at you. But in fact, they say B-I-O-Y-F-A, blow it at your fucking ass, which is their favourite phrase at the moment. You know, like I travel around Victoria at great speed, not breakneck speed, sometimes breakneck speed, but within the speed limit. I don't go over 100. Sometimes I do air over the side of caution, but usually I'm pretty cautious. But the other day I was heading up to Swan Hill, you know, and I'm sitting there thinking, well, I wasn't sitting, I was driving. Well, I was sitting in the car and I'm driving. So I'm sitting in the car driving and I'm thinking, why is there a car behind me with no lights on in the distance? I'll pull over. So I pulled over. They stopped. They thought I couldn't see them. I'm thinking, what do you cretins think you're doing? I thought it was someone related to me, but I couldn't be sure. I thought it was some sort of members, some, like not a member, but some members of a shadowy criminal organisation located in Victoria called The Group, otherwise known as the Syndicate, based in Melbourne in the early 70s. They were a pack of fucking cretins, let me tell you that. They're still active, they're still hot, they're still ready to go. So I'm sitting there and you know, I'm thinking, oh, what are they going to do? All of a sudden I hear them, they're screaming out sort of abuse, you know, we're going to gun you down, all this sort of shit. We're going to surround your car with shotguns, just blast you to death, blah, blah, blah. You know, I pretty much get that every day. I'm getting used to it. I probably will never fully really get used to it, but you know, it is wearing thin, let me tell you that much. You know, you're sitting somewhere like here, you know, in you know, well, mild, overcast Wodonga on up the north towards the east of the state, and I'm thinking, well, I haven't heard any death threats for a little while yet. It's pretty quiet so far, so it might be a good day, but I doubt that very much. Since for the last few days, ever since I didn't make it rain. Well, some people say I do make it rain for some reason. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. I don't know. I don't really care. When my mother used to ring me up, you know, I was living in Melbourne. She was up near Ballarat. She'd say, "Henry, could you come up and cut some wood for me and bring the rain?" So I'd go up, cut the wood, you know, leave, and it would piss down. It would just pour. Then I'd ring her up, have a bit of a chat, and I'd say, "Did it rain up there, Mum?" She said, "Yep, tanks are full, thanks for that." So maybe I do make it rain. Maybe I'm a rain god. Stranger things have happened. And believe you me, stranger things have happened. Like, you know, I was boiling up, coffee, forgot about my coffee. Boiling up my kettle in the back of the car. It was not a kettle, it was a pot. And I just sort of like, you know, lean over, you know, I'll have a whiff of the water, see if there's anything in it. I take a whiff of the water. This is a yak and dander, and my head is thrown back like it's been hit by a ballistic missile. And I'm going, well, what the fuck is in that? And I'm thinking, Jesus. Yeah, and by the way, that's not blasphemy. His name wasn't Jesus Christ anyway. It was Yeshua ben Yoket. So I instantly like just toss it. I toss it in the gutter, and it goes boom. And I'm thinking, what, geez, was that rocket fuel or something? It stank. It wasn't acid, hydrochloric acid or sulfuric acid, but let me tell you this much, it was pretty damn close, and they didn't buy it in the IGA, that's for sure. You can still get your packs of anthrax gel, you know, wolf them down, Denise. Yeah, you too, Cynthia, you fucking stupid mole. You know, find a better drink, you know, one of these days. Stop going to that stupid pub, that barman's an idiot. I just pause for a break. I am having a coffee. Yeah, it's not laced with methamphetamine as per usual. I don't lace it with methamphetamine. They do, members of the group. They want to see my demise. They want to see it's not going to happen, but I could do a short story, maybe a film about it, but that's about all they're going to get. Let me tell you that much. Got a few powerful backers on my side. They don't do that much for me. Like, they don't give me any money because I don't work for anyone. By the way, I don't work for the CIA, I don't work for the FBI, I don't work for the NSA, and I don't work for the Victoria fucking Police. Sorry about that, Victoria Police, but I don't work for the Victoria Police, alright, you fucking cretins? So stop saying that I do. And putting on a pair of Ray-Bans with a black cap does not instantly make me a viable employee of the fucking Central Intelligence Agency, you fucking cretins. That's you brain-dead morons from the psychiatric institution in Australia, America, the world, wherever you fucking idiots are from, that are so hell-bent on destroying me because I advocate meditation. You know, meditation, inner contemplation, dwelling within. Meditation is the best thing you can do for your body at all. It will lower your brain rate, it will drop your heart rate, it will drop your blood pressure, it will cure just about every ill on the fucking planet, and it's free. All you have to do is get up in the morning, go to the toilet, maybe have something to eat, preferably when it's dark, put on a silk shade, like, you know, the ones you wear in those stupid fucking aeroplanes, and sit there in the silence. Just start off with 5 minutes a day, do it every single day. You got to do it every single day. Perseverance furthers, as the I Ching says, the I Ching Book of Changes, great book, I love it. Been reading it for 40, 50 years, whatever. You sit there, you meditate, you know, you get up to an hour and a half meditation, all of a sudden you reach the state of sunyata, which is the state of emptiness, the great void, or the void. So you've got no thought in your head, there's no thinking, no words, no thinking about that stupid fucking black rectangle show that you watched last night in your box in the lounge room. There's none of that shit. You know, a box within boxes that are next to a house that's full of boxes within boxes within boxes on a street full of boxes, but that's another topic. I'll get to that later. You meditate, and then eventually that releases anti-cancer compounds, anti-aging compounds, serotonin, the feel-good drug. Oh yes, and by the way, there were other people lacing my coffee up in Donald with methamphetamine, and I didn't know until I got to the 18th fucking cup. I was off my face, let me tell you that much. Lucky I didn't go fucking ballistic gaga ape shit forever. And if I find the fucking dirty rotten mongrel that did it, I am going to give him a good fucking flogging. Let me tell you that much. Dr. Sawyer, or whoever you are, from wherever you are, out there in the distance with your cretinous brain-dead little mates driving around wherever I'm parked, yelling abuse at me, screaming, we're gonna gun you down, blow it out your fucking ass every time I say, you're an ass pounder, you're a brain-dead cretin. All I get is blow it out your fucking ass from idiots on methamphetamine, bellowing it out like they're totally fucking insane. Like someone's jacked them up the bum with a huge syringe full of fucking gunpowder or something. So you meditate, you reach the state of sunyata, there's no thinking, there's no words, there's no nothing. Everything works automatically. Your brain takes over, your brain improves your body, you become healthy, you become free of all of this bullshit that they've lambasted everyone with. That's L-I-M-B-A-S-T-E-D. That they've lambasted everyone with for centuries. You know, oh, you've got to work here, you've got to do this, you've got to do that, you've got to go to school in the morning, you've got to go here, you've got to have your lunch at 12 o'clock, you've got to have your tea at 6 o'clock, you've got to have your breakfast in the morning at 6 o'clock. You might not feel hungry until 1:30 in the afternoon, but no way, Jose, you're eating now. Let's put you in a box like a little regular little cog that goes around, bang on time, you're eating now, and you got no choice. So the point, well, a couple of points I'd like to make, is that too many people, far too many people, sit in their lounge room, which is a box. They go to their kitchen, which is a box. They go back to their lounge room, which is a box. And they sit in front of the black rectangle, don't they? They worship that black rectangle, otherwise known as the TV or the television, otherwise known as telepathic vision, because it sends you subconscious signals into your mind and influences your perception, direction, decision, and life choices. Buy this car every 7 minutes. Buy this car, buy this car, buy this car. You'll be free on the open road. Oh, isn't it grand driving down the Great Ocean Road? Oh, look at the view in your brand new car. Every 7 minutes. Oh, but it's time for a burger now. I was sitting there watching the TV one night in, dreary old Beaufort, Victoria, and I'm thinking, where the fuck am I going to get a burger at 10:30 at night in Beaufort, you cretins? Why the fuck are you showing me an ad telling me to go out and buy a burger and fries and a Coke? And that's filth. That's vile. Rots your teeth and takes the paint off your car. Why sell that shit? You may as well sell caramel cyanide or anthrax gel, available in the supermarket in the ladies' aisle. Why it's in the ladies' aisle, I don't know. So you do your meditation, you operate on automatic, all of a sudden you go, I'm not going to work in a fucking office anymore. I'm not sitting at a square desk. I'm not going to look at a black rectangle all day long, which ruins your eyesight because it beams out radiation into your eyes, like blue light radiation, and eventually you're wearing glasses or you go blind. And then you go home and you worship the black rectangle again, the rectangular box, which, by the way, it's not black, of course, but this is your black rectangle, the TV that you watch. Digital TV, DTV these days, but that's your little rectangle. And inside that little black rectangle are thin layers of film. They have various functions. They transfer the signal and turn it into imagery, DPI, dots per inch, give you all the colours, but there's many layers. You can look it up on the internet, but one of the layers in particular, excuse me, bit of lung congestion, don't worry about that. My health is improving, even though I do smoke too much. And one of the layers of film located in a digital TV is a lenticular lens, LENTICULAR space lens, LENS. So you can look up what a lenticular lens is and see what that says. Look it up on Google, on the internet, on your iPad or computer, which is a box, which hooks up to a black rectangle, which is a box. But you have your rectangular box, take out your lenticular lens, and apparently I haven't done this yet, but you fold it over and it becomes a square. And you put the two squares together and that's an invisibility cloak. You can look up invisibility cloak on the internet, on YouTube, or you can look it up and you can buy one. You get a little square like that. It's a sort of like a invisibility shield or something like that, available from Temu, TEMU, one of the local stores in Australia. They cost about $40-50. You can sit one in your garden and you can sit behind it in the dark, say, and no one's going to see you. So you have all of these little double two square lenticular lenses, but one will suffice, but you turn them into a square, and then I think from what I hear, you boil it for some time and it becomes a very soft plastic, which they then use to cover themselves, and then they are rendered invisible. Next thing you know, they're in your house, they're sitting in your lounge room, they're invisible, they wait till you go to bed, then they strike. Or they sit in your lounge room and watch you and film you. Or they sit in your garden just behind. You can buy a few of them, put them up, carry them into the backyard, sit behind it. It's a little bit dark. You're going to look out the window, look outside, you won't see them. They'll sit there all night listening to you. They'll have a thermal camera which can see infrared, it can read the heat signature of your body. They can watch what you're doing. Soon they're yelling out, oh, he's picking his nose. Oh, he's going to the fridge, if they want to annoy the fuck out of you and drive you mad. And then once you go to sleep, and they're very, very adept at this, they pick the lock of the door, break in, tiptoe in very quietly, go to your fridge and lace your food with drugs. Or they may even creep into your bedroom and shoot you up with a drug known as Rohypnol, or roofies in the United States. You're out like that. Pretty soon, they're in the kid's bedroom. They give them a shot of Rohypnol, and then they do their thing to the kids. When the kids wake up in the morning, and you wake up in the morning, known as the parents, you don't remember a fucking thing, because Rohypnol makes you forget the night before. They are very good at this sort of manoeuvres in the dark. They've been doing it for a long time, and they are experts at it, and they have honed it to a fine degree. H-O-N-E-D. And if you think it's bullshit, look up Rohypnol on the internet. ROHNYPOL. They can get it, the criminals can get it, and they use it often. So you'll have a couple of chicks in the pub, tasty morsels, just out with the girls having a couple of drinks, couple of sleaze bags sit down. You know, they're distracted, they go to the toilet, they leave their drinks on the table, in with a drug. They're a little bit woozy, they're walked out to the car, then they're taken back to these two sleaze bags' houses, and the sleaze bags do their thing. Give them a shot of Rohypnol, they can't remember anything, they're dumped back out on the street. They wake up in the morning, they can't remember where they've been, and believe you me, it's happened to me personally. In fact, I've been raped 9 times that I can remember to date. My website has an article under structural analysis on the website qlcs9.com. That has a lot of interesting information. I think that might be a wrap. Bye for now. Oh, by the way, the box you live in known as a house, which has a lounge room, which is a box, and it has a kitchen, which is a box, and it has a laundry, which is a box, and it has a bedroom, which is a box. Sits in a rather large box on a block of land, which is a box or a square. And that sits next door to a house, which is a box of boxes, next to another house which is a box of boxes. And they're all square and they're all made of ticky-tack. Little boxes made of ticky-tack on the hillside. And that's on a big block, which is a square. And that's in a big suburb, which is a square, and a city, which is a city of squares, blocks, boxes. And you all live in them. And what is a box similar to? It's similar to a cage or a prison. And when you sit there watching your black rectangle, which if you cut in half makes a square, you are absorbing electromagnetic radiation, blue light radiation from the TV, which hits your eyes, ruins your eyesight, and also pumps in subconscious programming. So there are hidden messages. I've heard that implanted into the frames of certain movies and commercials are little photos, so that you don't see them, they flash in front of your eyes. So you might see an elephant when you're watching a car race. You might see a hamburger when you're watching a film with an action figure, a Superman movie or something. And they used to put those in the 50s and 60s, if I remember correctly. So you're sitting in your box, known as your lounge room, watching the black rectangle, which is your TV, which can be folded in half, which makes a square. And in the walls of the house are electrical cables, wiring. So they emanate electromagnetic radiation. Eventually, all of this electromagnetic radiation starts to cook your body, and it destroys your health, destroys your mind, and destroys your spirit, and destroys your soul. But you don't realize it until you turn off the black rectangle, stop worshipping the black rectangle, and stand outside in the garden. And everyone knows that you do not go on holiday to sit in a house. You go on holiday to walk through the bush or through the forest. Or you go to the beach and swim in the sea. And how do you feel then? You feel much better. And it's much better than sitting in a room watching or worshipping the black rectangle. And you all sit there staring at the black rectangle, worshipping the black rectangle. The whole family worships the black rectangle, and no one speaks to each other. No one says a word. And because the children do not feel loved, no attention is paid to them, no one seems to care for them, they turn to drugs. They watch their little black rectangle in their room, speaking to no one, thinking it's so much fun. But then people prey on the little children and say, oh, I'd like to get to know you better. Do you want to send me a photo of your tummy? And all of that sort of dark stuff. After a while, the children become depressed, angry, frustrated and bored, and then turn to drugs and alcohol. This spreads throughout the whole neighbourhood, all because you worship the black rectangle. Riddle me this. In the universe, is there anything square? Can you find me something in the universe or on the planet in nature that is square. Go out into the bush, if you can find some, if they haven't cut it all down yet. Go out into the bush and find something that's square. The earth is round, the sun is round, the planets are round, they go around the sun, the planets have an orbit, plants are round, seashells are round, everything's round, but we all live in a box which is square. Tell me that. Tell me why. Why do we all live in a box when all else is round and flowing? Is that to destroy our minds? Is that to imprison us in a cage? Is that to make us sit in a box lined with electrical wiring, which throws out electromagnetic radiation and slowly cooks the body, destroying the mind-body-spirit complex, shattering the quantum energy matrix at the heart of the body on the quantum level, a sacred geometric pattern? Is it to do that? So we imprison ourselves due to their bastardisation and their practices, and we live in a cage. We are imprisoned in a cage, we are put in a little box. And energy, that is at the heart of all things in the universe, because the universe is made of energy and matter. And as I think it was Newton and Tesla and Einstein said, energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It can only be transferred from one place to another. And energy, if you look up waveforms and electromagnetic waves and all those sort of things, and planets and everything, it's all round. They all flow in a circle. They've got nice smooth curves like waves are smooth. Leaves on trees are nice and oval and rounded and smooth. But everything we have, like the car, is a box on wheels. The TV is square. You sit in your box in a house of boxes. Soon you feel ill and you decide to go to the doctor, who works in a building which is a box, and you go to his office when you are called by the receptionist, who sits in a box, and you go to the doctor's office, which is a box, and he sits at a table which is a rectangle, and he gazes at his screen, which is a rectangle, the black rectangle. Then he gives you a piece of paper, which is a rectangle, which you can fold over and turn into a square. Then you walk down to the chemist or the pharmacy for your drugs or medication, and that is a box, full of boxes, black rectangles, screens, and hundreds of tiny little boxes. And then you take out your little rectangle of pills, and the pills are round, just to rub it in, just to remind you that everything used to be round, but now it's all square. And as you know, energy flows in a circle or curves or a waveform. Does it not, Shunlu? For Shunlu had a dream, and now he is concerned. For he seeks the light, and he says the light is above in the ceiling, but the light comes from within. Within, generated by the pineal or pineal gland, so that when you meditate, the pineal gland or pineal gland explodes with light and fills the body with light, thus giving health and longevity. But Shunlu does not meditate. He has never been told. People are never told to meditate. People are told, oh, meditation will lead to the devil. Oh, meditation's all rubbish. And when people meditate, they are surrounded by fools who scream at them, stop him from meditating, like they did to me and Donald. They screamed at me and did not want me to meditate because they knew I had seen and gazed upon the face of God, the light of the universe, the creator, the master architect. And they hate God so much that they sought to destroy me because I had gazed upon the face of God, which is pure, bright, intense light. Better than love. Better than anything in the universe. No material gain or thing compares to gazing upon the face of God. And once I'd come to my senses because I was so dumbstruck and awestruck, I devoted my entire life to the service of the Big H, otherwise known as the Big Holy, which is what I call God because I consider God my friend. They sought to turn me away from God because they hate God so much, these children of Baal, worshippers of satanic practices, worshippers of consuming drugs and laying with children and taking teenagers in the night and bringing them back home after they have given them drugs. So now I devote my service to the glory of God, the Creator, the Master Architect. And He guides my ways on the path of life and shows me the way. I have no fear, I have no concerns. They stole all of my possessions, they threw me out of my house, and now they seek to destroy me. So when energy which flows in a curve is in a room called a box, it flows through the room. And when it hits a corner, it cannot go round and dies. Like they say, I'm going round the corner. How can you go round a corner? Oh, I'm boxed in. Oh, you're so square, man. Yeah, I've got a few good angles. What's the temperature today? How many degrees is it? That's a bit of an obscure one. I might have to work on that one. Tell me this, how hard is it for the batter, like the one who hits the baseball, how hard does it look for him to run around a square? Isn't it easier to run around a circle? And doesn't a garden such as the stone garden of Roanji in Japan look much better with curves and circles than squares? And all the lawns have to be square and they have to be cut to this high. Oh, because it looks messy. Oh no, I like my nice, neat lawn. About this high so that no insects can live there, no flowers can grow. And it's all a barren wasteland where nothing lives. And they think that's living the dream. In their little backyard of a rectangle, which when folded in half is a square. So today, if you have the time, take out your money changers rectangle, known as a dollar note, whether it be plastic or paper, whether it's got the pyramid with the all-seeing eye sitting on top of it, or it's a lobster or a pineapple. Take it out of your wallet and that's a rectangle. It's square. And they don't like coins anymore because they're round. But you take the rectangle and then you fold it over, which is a piece of money, like a note, and it's a square. Then you have a 10 square, a 50 square, 100 square, 20 square, 10 square, or a 5 square. Fold it in half and see if I'm right. How's that for a bit of a spiel? And from the wannabe impersonator, CIA covert paramilitary agent, Henry D. Banwell, over and out. Bye for now.